Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. I'm about to get started. I was just posting that I'm on Twitch live on Twitter so that anyone on there would know. But I'm ready to begin, so let us jump right in. Oh, by the way, this time I actually did enable the live reload feature in Atom, so we'll be able to actually see things happen live instead of me having to jump back and forth between the browser and my editor. So yeah, I'll be able to just do everything immediately once I edit it and stuff. So yeah, let's go. I forgot to drag this tab out of the window, so let me do that. Sorry about that. Great, there we go. So last time I was working on this, I don't think I actually got around to adding any of the animations. I don't remember. So let me just see what I would have had here. I know I was laying some groundwork for like animation speeds and certain other variables that we're going to use, because what I like to do now in most of my CSS code is use custom properties, aka CSS variables. If you're not familiar with them, you'll get to learn about them today. I personally am a big fan. Some people are not necessarily the biggest fans because they don't work in what you call it, Internet Explorer any version really. I couldn't remember the name of it because I haven't used it in God knows how long. But yeah, I don't use Internet Explorer, I don't support it, and it's not that I'm a hater, it's just that it's time for the internet to move on. No point in supporting technology that old, it just holds you back. So yeah, that's my explanation for why I use custom properties even though they're not supported. They're very powerful and they really open up some doors. So yeah, and most browsers that you use, such as Firefox and Chrome, well, any Chromium based browser, any Blink based browser, and any WebKit based browser support them. So yeah, that's enough about that. So yeah, as you will notice, I have some classes here already. Most of these are just adjustment classes, if you will. So like you have, let me just explain what these are here. You have Ameiva Fast, Ameiva Medium, Ameiva Slow, etc. This should be sluggish, not slow. Let me just fix that quickly. But these basically will adjust the speed of your animations, but they don't actually do any animation themselves. Oh, this is Atom, and I'm running Ubuntu 2104, I believe. I normally try to stay on the latest available version of Ubuntu, and I use Atom nightly because I like to use the bleeding edge software of anything that I can find, basically. So yeah, I'm on the latest of the latest. Oh, and these are actual animations, so I did add a couple, but I haven't actually added any elements to the page that will allow you to see those animations in progress. So let me actually get around to that today, and I'm going to be adding some more animations. I have some cool stuff in mind, like some buttons that actually reveal text and everything. Oh, thank you very much. Most people are on VS Code these days, but I tried to get into VS Code and it wasn't my cup of tea. Nothing against Microsoft, by the way. I actually did use it for a short time and I wasn't that keen on the layout and stuff, so that's why I switched back to Atom. I mean, Atom can be a little sluggish at times and it can have its quirks, but I'm pretty comfortable. I don't do any like C++ programming or anything like that right now, so I don't need a compiler or anything. I do plan to get back into it in the future though, so I may switch from Atom to something else, but we'll see how that goes. But thank you, because I don't usually get a lot of comments on my editor, so thank you for that one. What I'm going to do first is actually add a demo button, so let me just put that in here. And for those of you who don't know, I am using my own framework, which is called Annul, or Annuli if you want to pronounce it that way, because that's the original pronunciation. Let me actually pull up the website for that. This is a pure CSS library that I wrote and it is really, really cool. Yeah, the cursor effect sometimes does cause problems, but believe it or not, the biggest issue I get actually comes from a plugin called Pigments that shows you the colors of, well, it basically shows you colors in your CSS code. Let me actually demonstrate that, because I actually could use some color in Ameiva. So I'm gonna add a color here. Ameiva. It should show up in a few seconds. Right, there we go. So you see what Pigments does. It's really cool, but it's also really slow. And every once in a while I'll be typing and Atom will just decide it's had enough and the entire system will freeze. But I do understand why it is slow, because it has to do a lot of computing and it has to read the entire file. So like when I'm working with really big files, sometimes it slows down the computer, and this computer is extremely old. It's probably from 2011, but the parts in it are, most of them are older than that, so it's not very, you know, not very peppy and not very sprightly, but it does its job. But yeah, the Node CSS framework which I'm using in the demo page for Ameiva is actually a framework that I wrote, pure CSS, no JavaScript whatsoever. It's built to be adaptable, so you can check it out. It's still not complete yet, so there's no version 1 release, but if you check the GitHub page, you'll see that I've been working on it quite a bit, because I'm planning to release it soon, maybe in the next like 6 months or so. I'll have a version 1 release, depending on my workload, because I have some other work added to my workload, but we'll see how that goes. But it will allow me to do some rapid development today, so I really am proud of my work there. So let me just take out all this extraneous nonsense and add an button. I need to actually open a null in Atom, if not it's not going to autocomplete. So let me open that CSS file quickly. I wish there was a way, or there probably is, but I haven't looked for it, to do autocomplete without having to open the file. I know it does it for certain standard stuff, but it doesn't do it for files unless you actually open them, so I'll have to look into that. Let me just call this test button, and this here can come out all together because this is not, then again it does have an animation, but that animation is not going to show unless we trigger it, so I'll just take this out for now. And I'm going to add an animation to this one, so let's go with Ameiva bounce, and we're going to have it move at a slower rate, so Ameiva slow. Now let's actually write that animation in. I like to keep everything kind of alphabetical in order in my code, so that's why I'm scrolling up and down looking for the right place to insert this. And I also like to keep my CSS code organized, so you'll see me add comments sometimes for the purpose of doing that. And so for our bounce, what we're going to do is use the translate animation. So transform, translate. In fact, let me not put that in there. I'm going to use an actual keyframe for this. I was thinking transition. I oftentimes go to do that without remembering. I can just use a keyframe. So keyframes, bounce, and we're going to use from and to instead of percentages this time. So from to, not to do, from and to. So from transform, translate y 0 to transform, translate y, and we're gonna put 3px. That should be sufficient. And then I'm going to write in the animation here. So Animation, 1 second. If I forgot to add the name first. Bounce, 1 second. Ease in out. Oops. And I believe infinite should do the trick. Oh, and I forgot to put both so it can fill in both directions. Did I put this in the right place? I sometimes forget the shorthand for this stuff because there's a lot to remember. So let me see if I got this right. Alright, instead of doing all that in shorthand, let me just put animation fill mode here and put both. Oh wait, there's something else I'm forgetting here. Usually I forget something. So let me see here. What am I forgetting? Alright, let me take out infinite from here just in case I am forgetting the arrangement for this. I know it's supposed to play back and forth with one of these values and it slipped me. This happens every week. For those who are new, I usually forget something. But if you're a programmer and you don't forget something, I question your humanity. I'm just kidding, but seriously, you're really good if you can if you can remember everything. Not play state is pause and running. I know it's not that. Oops. I didn't mean to press full screen there. Okay, so not that either. What am I missing? I mean, it is repeating the animation, but I kind of want it to go back and forth. Oh, I forgot to leave infinite in place. Let me put that back in. Alright, you know what? I'm going to use percentages because this is a bit of a hack. I think that from and to should work if I remember correctly, but since it's not working, what I will do, not 100, this should be 0. What I will do is use percentages and actually have it go back to the original position so that it will animate correctly. So translate Y, transform, translate Y, put it back to 0. That should do the trick. Yep, there we go. So now it's bouncing correctly. And what you can do is you can actually change the speed of it using the classes that we added before. So now I can have it bounce fast, I can have it bounce sluggish. Oops, this should be, where is it? Did I include sluggish in here? Yes, I did. For some reason autocomplete didn't find it. Let me just double check the speed I have for this here, because it looks faster than it should be in my opinion. Okay, I need to adjust these speeds a bit because this is not slow enough in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is change these numbers around a bit. Put 2 seconds here, 3 seconds there, and that should do the trick. Right, there we go. And I also need to make sure, yeah, this is here too. So let me try and see what this will look like. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the music today is taken from Creators Lib on YouTube. They produce Afrobeats music, which I really love, and you can check them out. I'll actually post the link in the chat to the song that I'm playing right now, but after, when I post this video on my channel, my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel, you'll be able to find the link to their channel from there as well. Okay, so we have a bounce animation in. Let me add another one, or let me try, before I add another one, let me try the unfold animation to make sure that it is working as it should. Okay, it's not working as it should, so let me fix that. Oh, I didn't add the animation for unfold yet, so I have to fix that. In fact, you know what? I'm going to group all of my animation keyframes in one place, seeing as I like to keep my CSS code organized. And there are two ways I organize my code. Either I put, like, say if I have animations related to a class, I'll put all the animations related to one class in the same place as the class, or sometimes I'll put all my animations, all my keyframes, all my classes of certain kinds, and you know, anything else that are similar like that together. But this time I'll be grouping the keyframes together and classes of different names together. So, oops, forgot I don't need that extra ampersand. Not ampersand. What is it called? Is it ampersand? Yeah, ampersand. Yeah. So for this one, this is unfold X. Oh no, I scaled all X. Or scale X all, I forgot. Yeah, let me fix that. That means I should probably keep consistency and rename this to Ameiva Bounce. Now, one of the reasons why I like to use prefixes before class names and before like animation names and stuff is so that if I work with another framework that happens to use the same names, that there are no clashes. Alright, so for this one I'm going to use transform again. Forgot to add the percentage. Oops, what am I doing? 0%. I keep pressing extra keys by accident. Big fingers and a weird keyboard. 0% transform. I thought I had transform on my clipboard. Transform, translate X 0. Then we're going to duplicate that twice. And this should be unfold X. Let's see how this works now. Did I do the right thing? Or did I miss something again? Alright, let's fix this. Let me not use shorthand this time around. I personally am not a big fan of shorthand in CSS, even though it's useful. I like to be able to look at everything by its property value pair and fix it like that. That's me. So animation iteration count infinite. I'm going to change that eventually because I don't actually want it to be infinite, and I'm actually going to use variables for that eventually. So I'll probably come back and change that and everything, but for now, for demo purposes, I'm going to use infinite. But the reason I'll use variables is so that you'll be able to pick and choose what kind of animation count you want. So like if you add the class infinite or Ameiva infinite and Ameiva 1, Ameiva repeat, whatever, it will give you that appropriate variable and give you the requisite iteration count that you're looking for. Alright, so I need iteration count, I need fill mode, both. I don't think I need anything else there. Alright, what am I missing? Because this should be unfolding. I don't think I'm missing anything. Let me double check something. Where is bounce? Alright, so for bounce I have the timing function shouldn't affect anything. I feel like I'm missing something because this is not animating as it should. Alright, let me try doing this using transformations and see if it works like that. And if it does, then I know that I'm missing something else. Well, using transitions, I mean, not transformations. So transition all 1 second. Ease in out. Transform. Scale X 0. Now we have another bug that's caused by something. Alright, that's not what I want to happen, but I will fix that soon. This is just to test and see what I'm missing. How come it's working all of a sudden? This shouldn't be here. I don't know why that's there. But no, it works all of a sudden. That is odd. Oh, you know what I forgot? This should be 1 and this should be 0. Good. Okay, so that works. Just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing something else. Alright, so let's take that back out. I have the names correct, so I'm not sure what I'm missing here. Alright, let's go through this again. Animation name is correct. I believe, yes, it is. Iteration count is correct. Fill mode is correct. Duration is correct. So why is it not animating? Oh, you know what I did? How did I not catch that? I have translate instead of scale. I can't believe I missed that. Wasted so much precious time for one simple, pretty obvious bug. Not even a bug, just a mistake. Okay, cool, so that works. Good. I know how we're going to make this work with a variable. Now we have Ameiva anim count. Is I'm going to actually add some variables up here. Well, classes, sorry, not variables. I'm going to add them as classes, and then you can choose which animation count you want. So let me add a comment for that. I like to document my code as well, even if it's just for me, because it helps me when I come back not to have to sit and read through a bunch of stuff just to figure out what something's supposed to do. There are different camps on that. Some people don't like it, some people love it. I personally love it because I think it's sensible. If you don't like it, you don't have to. That's just my personal preference. Alright, now let me add those classes. So we're going to start with Ameiva count, or anim count 1. And we're going to add a variable in here of the same name, so Ameiva anim count, and then 1, and then I can duplicate this and change some values around. pretty sure there's a plugin on Ahem that would have actually done this for me, but I'm feeling a little too lazy to go searching for that right now. I probably might even have it installed and don't remember, but I have so many at this point that I don't even bother to try to remember what all of them are. I just do my job and get things done. Alright, so I'm going to do up to 10. In most of my frameworks I usually go up to 15, but for today I'm only going up to 10. Then I'm going to add infinite, so Ameiva anim count infinite, and right, there we go. So now from here I can add the anim count that I want to the button. Right, and as you can see, it animates once and stops. So like for instance, if you want to use this as an opening animation, you could use anim count 1. You can use 3 if you want it to be 3 times, 5 for example, 5 times, etc. And then you can also change the speed. So let me use fast or sluggish. Alright, sluggish didn't do what it's supposed to do. Let me make sure that I have it in the right place. It should work though, because it's actually listed as a last class, and with CSS they're literally cascading style sheets. So if something comes last, it has the highest priority. So let me just make sure I'm not missing anything else. It should have changed the animation speed just now, but it looked the same to me. Let me try fast and then sluggish again and see if it looks the same, or if it's just my computer being slow today. Might just be the computer, because that may actually be different timing. In any case, I do believe it is working. Alright, so I can take that back up. Actually, what I'm going to do is construct a list of these classes inside of this demo so that I don't have to keep changing them over and over again. So let me copy this button, or move this button up and then copy it, and that should do the trick. Oops, why not 7? And bounce. I can organize these even better, so let me put them inside of an article class in info box. This would be unfold animations. Forgive my frenetic typing, sometimes I type too fast in my own brain. Not unfold, this is bounce animations. I forgot to add the annul class to the body so it actually has the right color. There we go. Much better looking. I believe I have a master CSS on this as well. I'm going to edit that so that we can get some better looking color. And one of the things that I did in annul CSS is that the variables for, well, everything uses variables. Almost everything. I'd be switching whatever doesn't over to using them. So I can restyle this page pretty quickly by just changing those variables. Oh, I didn't create the master CSS, my bad. Master CSS. Root. And null background color. White. Null. Let me see what a null is using over here. Just give me a second, folks. I'm trying to change up the appearance of this page a bit so that it can look a little more unique. I just went too far down, obviously. Right, there we go. Okay. Instead of using white, let me use something more contrasting so that we don't have to go through 1,000,001 variables. I could do that any other day when I'm not on stream. Let's use a blue color for this. Ameivas are actually green, so I should probably go with a greenish color. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, good. I'll fix the colors for Ameiva itself, or at least a demo page at a later date, but definitely not on stream. Well, I mean, not say definitely. Maybe I'll do that on stream, but not when I'm actually supposed to be building animations. I get too distracted too easily, so I won't do that to you today. Alright, so what other animations can we add? Bounce animations could probably be a bit more interesting, so let me add another one. And for this one, I'm going to actually add Waterfall. So, to do a waterfall, you would need multiple stops along the way. So instead of starting at 50, I'll start at 15. Instead of 15, probably let me divide it into 4 stops. So 25, 50, 75, and 100. I'm probably going to need more stops than this at some point, but I'm just trying to work this through in my head as I go. Translate Y. So we're going to end at 0. Let me actually add this to... Oh wait, I didn't create the class yet. Let me also fix that. So Waterfall. And center row should have put the... Oh, I know what I did wrong here. Let me drop these into some divs and put in 35 PIU. What I'm doing here, I'm actually going to space these out a bit so that they're much easier to see. So just give me a second, let me fix that. Wait, what am I missing? Am I moving the wrong thing around? I don't think I am. That's odd. Or is it? Oh, I know what it is, because this window got resized. Yep, that's the problem. I forgot that when you resize the window, a null is going to adapt. I need to remember my own code. So what's happening there, a null is actually seeing the window as having gone into mobile view. So even though I have things set to be on rows, they're turning into columns because the window is so small. So I'll just resize the window a bit and that should fix it. Obviously I need to make it bigger than I want, but oh well. I also forgot to zoom in on the Atom window. My apologies to those who are struggling to see my code today. That should be better, I hope. Alright, so we're gonna fix this animation now. So waterfall. Oh right, another thing. This should be set to iterate infinitely. Alright, good. So now for the waterfall we are going to use, oops, let's move it up by say like 8px, then move it down to 0 and then 5, or no, 3, so it has a spacing of 5px. And then back to 0 again. Alright, and then we need to move it to the side as well. So we will start off negative 8px on the x-axis. Then negative 3px on the x-axis. We'll turn this into translate instead of translate y. That should do the trick. Did it do the trick? Not quite. Alright, so I probably need to do this explicitly. I hope I'm not moving too quickly, by the way. If I am, you can let me know in the chat. This is not moving exactly as I wanted to. I think what's probably happening here is that translate is probably trying to read only one value at a time, so I probably need to use a vector, I believe it is. Alright, I'll need to switch this around. Some things I don't always remember offhand, and I don't have the documentation open right now. I'll probably have to do that in future. Make sure I have things to hand, because there's always going to be something that you forget no matter how long you've been coding. So it happens to the best and the worst of us. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is try to turn these into vectors. Let me just pull up the documentation for translate in MDN. I believe X comes first and then Y. That's all we need to know. Alright, so let me see here. translate. X would be -8, I believe, and Y would be 8px. Okay, it's 8 for both, and then 3 by 3. This is trickier than I thought. I had it figured out in my head, and now I can't seem to get it figured out when I'm actually trying to type it out. But I'm pretty sure I had it figured out in my head how this waterfall animation will work. Go up once, come to a certain spot and stop. Then go up again and come to another spot and stop. I probably don't have enough stops in place. Wait, and I also have a stray bracket. How did that get there? This is going to need some tweaking and some figuring out, but I'm pretty sure I had this right in my head, and now that I'm trying to translate it into code, I'm somehow not able to translate it as quickly as I thought I would. I know it needs to go up, or start up, sorry, and then come down. Then go up again and come down. So maybe let me start from 8, come down to 0, or better yet, not 0. Let me come down to 5 or 3 maybe. Come down to 3, go up to 5, and then come down to 0. Let's see if that works. You know what, let me do this piece by piece, and this should help me to figure this out easier. Instead of doing a full translation, let me do Y first, then X, and then I can combine the two, and that should give me what I want. So I'm going to remove all of these. If I don't figure this out, I'll just move on to something else and come back to this at another time. So let's start from, instead of 8, let me start from -10, and then move to about 5, -5px. Then move to -8px. Then -3px. And finally end at 0. Okay, that seems to be working as I want it. Now let me just slow it down because it is moving pretty fast. Obviously these animation speeds need to be adjusted even more. So let me make Sleepy something like 8 seconds long. I want it even slower than that. Never mind that, no. The annul animations are also being slowed down. That's not intentional. But there's always some kind of quirk when you're working with CSS that will frustrate you. That's why so many people don't like it. I like it as a language, I guess maybe as a designer or whatever, but a lot of people don't like it because it can be very quirky. Alright, so I need to find back my my animation class here for Waterfall and see what I have in place. Oh, I shouldn't actually have a time on this. So let me move these out into their requisite properties. Timing function. Animation. Duration. We use a variable for that. Ameiva. Duration, is it? What was it? Oh, not duration. That should be iteration count. My mistake. Iteration count. No wonder is getting confused. Ameiva. Iteration. Or no, anim count. Great. Now it slowed down. That's what I wanted. So the problem was in the class itself. I had the timing of the function already in there, so I can change the timing on Sleepy back to something more reasonable instead of 8 seconds, because it was actually a mistake. But I still want it to be slower than 3 seconds. I hope you don't mind me tweaking all this stuff here and there. That's just me. I'm a tweaker, so I tweak everything. Alright, good. And back to this waterfall. Let me see if I can actually figure it out now. For some reason it's not actually using the iteration count that I have here. Did I make another mistake again? I can't believe I'm making so many mistakes today. I must be tired or something. Alright, so it does use Ameiva anim count. And it's not animating for some reason. Alright, let me change this to infinite for the time being. Still not moving. Or, you know what I forgot to do? It doesn't have any timing at all. That's the problem. My mistake. I forgot that this should be a variable here. Animation duration should be set to something at least, because it does need a duration. So let me set it to fast by default. But it's still not moving? Are you serious? Alright, you know what? This waterfall wants to drive me nuts, so And it's like that, time to move on, do another animation and come back to something else. Well, come back to that eventually, because I don't know what I did there that has it being so temperamental. Alright, so how about I do a spin? Alright, so I'm going to do a spin animation. This is pretty easy to do. Ameiva, spin, alt, transform, rotate. And for rotate, use degrees, but I'm going to use a large amount. So something like, say, 520 degrees. Oh, forgot to do rotate Z, 520 degrees should do it. Yes, and let me put these under percentages. And then for 100%, 0 degrees. So now I can add a button, or more like move this button up. Animation duration should be Ameiva, let's use fast as usual, and oops, forgot to close that. And animation iteration count. Will be another variable, which is of course Ameiva anim count. Timing function, the usual ease in out, and fill mode. Yes, forgot to add that. It is animating, but it's obviously doing it once. Let me fix that. Right, so it animates as we want it to, and now let's add the speed. There we go. Perfect. I knew that was easy. I need to do more animations, but I've been so focused on working on templates and stuff, which usually don't have animations in them, that I haven't been doing this too much. So if I seem a little rusty, it's not because I have no clue what I'm doing, it's just because I'm slightly out of shape. It's kind of like when you don't exercise in real life, you have to exercise in your code and your designing. If not, you start to get a little rusty, even though you may be very knowledgeable. I'm getting tongue twisted there for some reason. Maybe I need to hydrate. You know, it's kind of funny, this is a side note, but I do have bits enabled, and since nobody really taught us that much, No one has told me to hydrate up till now. But just so you know, in future you can tell me to hydrate on chat anytime you want. So I will actually stop and do that right away. Okay, I'm back. That didn't take long. Another side note, you can purchase an HTML template that I did called photogenic. I'm going to post the link in the chat so that you can grab it. It's on my Teespring store. I can't post this stuff on Redbubble because Redbubble does not support stuff like templates and all that. But if you want to check this out, there it is in the chat. It's called photogenic. I can actually pull it up on screen for you. This has nothing to do with CSS animations, although it does have some very slick animations in it. So you'll get to see that I'm not just talking when I say that I'm accustomed to doing this, but I just haven't been doing it for a while. So yeah, let me pull it up for you and let you actually see how it looks. So here it is. This is photogenic, and as you can see, it looks very, very cool. Shameless plug for myself. But yeah, it looks very cool, and when you click on these items in the portfolio, can actually switch layout automatically so that it matches the layout of the image and puts everything in the right location. You also have a built-in toolbox or toolbar, which can switch to other layouts as well. So you have this layout here that shows everything at the top. Of course, you already would have seen those two layouts, and you can reset from there. Also has a small bit of documentation because photogenic is extremely simple. It's not meant to be complicated. I didn't want it to be complicated. I didn't want it to have too much in it. Even the contact page is simple. It's really just to show your best face. So I made it pretty accessible, pretty inexpensive. You can go and grab it from my store. As I said, the link is in the chat. I'll also probably put it in the description of the YouTube channel. And if you purchase that, you help support me and the work that I do in providing free streams, education, all that stuff. And I'm trying to do some more writing on the dev community, and I'm planning to launch a blog of my own very soon, so you can look out for that as well. Alright, that was just a side note. Since I had to hydrate, let me get back to the work of actually showing you some animations. Oh, by the way, another side thing, check out that wallpaper. You can get this on my Teespring store and my Redbubble store. It's called No Performance. It's kind of like a brand that I have right now. So you can go and purchase t-shirts, prints, everything like that. Anyway, enough advertisements. Back to the animations. Alright, so the spin animation is working. We have spin out. Now let's add spin in. Oh, but another thing for spin out, before I add spin in, what I will actually do is add some more transformation to this. So transform, oh, not transform, what am I saying? It shouldn't be transform or translate. Scale, that's the one I want. Scale from 0 to 1. In fact, you know what? I will take that out, and I'll explain why I'll take that out. It just crossed my mind that it's not going to be visible when it spins, that it is scaling in and out. So what I'm going to actually do is add another animation that allows you to do that just from as a from and to instead of percentages. So for that, what I'm going to add is Ameiva scale in. or better at scale out, because yeah, it's going from 0 to 1. Animation name would be Ameiva scale out. Oops, why did I add that? That was silly. Alright, animation iteration count. Oops. Would be Ameiva anim count. Animation duration is Ameiva fast. Alright, let's add that scale animation that can be used for anything. For the spin out animation, yeah, I think that will stay as is, and I will add a spin in animation that does the opposite effect. So all you need to do is change that 520 degrees to negative 520 degrees. Then I can duplicate this button and change the animation class. There we go. These probably need some spacing on them because, as you can see, they are right on top of each other. So what I will do, drop into the master CSS and add the correct code for that. And button, margin top. To go with 35 pixels, that should do the trick. Yep, there we go. Alright, so the spin in animation is not working. That means I either forgot to add the class or I forgot something else. I probably forgot to add the class. Yep, I did. My mistake. This would drive someone completely nuts, so I am not going to leave that on the demo page. That's just there temporarily, just to show you it was working. I need some more animations to add, but I'm coming up short. Although I don't have much more time on stream for today, I need to add some more animations. I probably should have written down some animations that I could do quickly before I came on today, but for some smart reason, I did not. You know what would be really cool, actually? Oh, I forgot. There's a button animation that I was to do. So I'll do that, but I was just thinking it would be really cool to show you a typewriter style animation, but the only challenge with that is that it will probably require multiple elements, because I don't know of any way to do that with one single element, although, if I'm not mistaken, I read recently that CSS is gaining the option to do that. I can't remember how it's done, and I don't think it's supported in most browsers as yet, but CSS is supposed to be getting, if I'm not mistaken, supposed to be getting a kind of a typewriter animation, which is pretty cool. So yeah, just letting you know that's out there and it's on the way. But the button animation that I mentioned, let me demonstrate that right away. So I'm gonna duplicate this, move one of these extra buttons up, and I'm gonna change the class to Ameiva Reveal Tooltip, or better yet, I'm gonna make it Tooltip Reveal, because Reveal will be something different. In a null, let me just demonstrate that animation for you. There is actually a Reveal class. Alright, yeah, Reveal family. Yeah, so there are actually Reveal animations in the null that are triggered by hover. So I'm gonna have Ameiva have something similar to what a null has, just of course with different class names. This page here, as you can see, needs some work, so I haven't worked on the documentation as much as the actual framework, so forgive any pages that look a little out of place. It's just that I would have had some class names and other stuff changed around over time, so some of the pages are not up to date. Yeah, so for this one, I am going to be actually adding a tooltip that reads from a data attribute on the button. So where is that button? Alright, here we go. I should actually make these buttons a bit more useful, so I'm gonna put Ameiva Tooltip Reveal on this one, and I'm gonna add Data Tooltip I am Batman. Or better yet, I am Batman. And for that animation, where are we gonna put this? Probably down at the bottom. Well, let me move this out from here too, by the way. Same my clipboard, don't worry. Ameiva Tooltip Reveal. And instead of using an actual animation for this, I'm going to use transitions. So, alright, I need to add position relative to the class, and then using after. I can use either after or before, but I'm going to use after for the z-index benefits, because after comes obviously after. I mean, it's not really that important, but if you want to, you get a small benefit in that. It doesn't really matter in this particular case, so let me just use after for now. But yeah, position absolute, and top, let's go with 5%. Bottom, no, not top 5%. Top will be 0. Left is 5%. Right is also 5%. No need for bottom, so we're going to use width, not width, height. Let's go with about 35 px. I could actually pull the height from a null, but I'm not going to do that because Ameiva is its own thing. But a null has a variable for the height that I could have pulled from. So that would be the same height as the button itself. And alright, this goes at the bottom, this goes above that. Just putting things in alphabetical order. And content will pull from attribute. Oops, typing too fast. Attribute data tooltip. Color. Ameiva. Let's go with Ameiva dark. Background color. For Ameiva dark. Ameiva white, sorry. Oops. Alright, so let me just add those colors quickly. Well, one missing color, because there's only one missing. Now, if you're wondering why I don't just use black, it's because black on white text sometimes can be a little jarring for some people's eyes. I know it definitely affects me, so typically you should use a dark gray instead of black. And instead of exact white, which I actually did here, let me fix this. You can use a color that is slightly less intense, so like RGB 235, 235, 235. I'm not sure what that is in hex values because I don't really use them that often. I like my RGB values for some reason. Again, your mileage may vary, but that's my particular preference. Alright, I think I am missing something because I'm not seeing that after on here. But I should be, I think. Oh, you know why I'm not seeing it? Because it's hidden. Top 100%. Should show it, no? Did it? Or does this have the wrong class somehow? I am willing to bet that this has somehow gotten the wrong class. Yep, it did. And it still won't show? Are you serious? Let me try display on this. Let's see. Okay, something is definitely wrong. I'm pretty sure that this should be working, but I hope that there are no missing semicolons somewhere making everything not work. Because that is quite likely to happen, and that would explain why doing everything right isn't working. Or maybe it's just the computer being special. Oh, it's position absolute. So that means that my position is incorrect somehow? How? It's not the Z index. I didn't think it was, but I just decided to double check just in case. It's definitely not that. Alright, you can go back off. This is none of the two of y'all somehow having position relative on this. No, sorry, not relative on this. Absolute on this is causing the problem. But it shouldn't be. It should be showing. Let me try bottom instead of top. still not doing anything? That is odd. Do you ever get the feeling that computers are mocking you and that even though you know exactly what you're doing, they just turn and say, not today? I get that feeling some days. Because I can assure you if I was not on stream right now, this would not be giving me all this trouble. I don't understand. Alright, what am I missing? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to put position relative on AM button and see if that fixes it. It still didn't. You have got to be kidding me. I'm taking out height. I'm going to start practically from scratch, even though this should be working. I have no clue what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing everything right, and my code is still being rude and not doing what it's supposed to do. I don't understand how composition absolute is being ignored. Z-index should have nothing to do with this. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. What are these 13 errors, baby? Oh, it's trying to pull in a file that I'm not even using. My mistake. I need to take that out at some point. Those have nothing to do with the error I'm getting right now. I'm going to take out position absolute and see what happens here. I don't understand this. It should be working. Or is it... Oh, you know what it is? I just realized what it is. Overflow is hidden. My mistake. There is always some kind of quirk in CSS that makes you pull your hair out. So I need to add overflow. Visible. That should fix it. Yes, it did. And actually, I'm going to add Z-index -1 on this so it hides behind the button. Right, there we go. Instead of top being 100%, we'll put that 0. And right, left 5% like I had originally. And when I took it out for no reason, sometimes computers do this just to keep you on your feet. Alright, and height was 35 px again. And what I'm going to do is add a transformation, scale to 0. Or better yet, let me use scale y0. And then what I'm going to do now is duplicate this. Oops, I copied the wrong thing there. Alright, duplicate that and use hover. So most of this stuff can come out now. Oops. Most of this stuff can come out, including the height. Position, right and left can come out. Top will stay and it will become 100%. It will scale to 1. Oh, I forgot to add transition to this. So transition, we'll use all var Ameiva. Yeah, let's use fast. And ease and out. Alright, so this should do the trick. There we go. Instead of height, let me use padding because height is not going to do the exact job that I want here. So padding, let's use 8px and 15px. And just to make sure that things don't go outside of where they're supposed to be, turn on box sizing and border box. Great, there we go. Let's make this slower actually. Perfect. I think now everyone knows I'm Batman. I need to add some more padding on the top, so I'm going to move this down. Let's make this 12px, 8px. No, 12, 15, 8, and 15. Right. There we go. Now let's round this all a bit and make it look a little more pretty. Add a box shadow, 0, 0, 8px, RGB, A, and 0, 0, 0.5. Right, Batman's looks a little better. But one of the things I need to do here is turn off the shadow on the buttons. So hover, right, there we go. So now that shadow should not cover our tooltip too much. Still looks darker than it should be though. I wonder if it's just the color that I chose to use. Let me turn this to actual white instead and see how it looks. Still looks slightly darker than they want it to be, but maybe it's just my screen. I don't know how it looks on your screen, but on my screen it looks a little darker than it should be. That's no big deal, that can be fixed. Oops. Now what I'm actually going to do is adjust the scale on that a bit because I don't think it scales as cleanly as I want it to be. So instead of 0, I'm going to use 0.5. As I told you, I'm a bit of a tweaker and I tweak just about everything I do. Yeah, that's better. I like that a lot better now. So now we can actually duplicate this class, but instead of duplicating everything, I'm going to show you a way that you can write some, well, I would call it more logical CSS code, grouping things together. So what I'm going to do is duplicate these two here. In fact, yeah, let me, instead of duplicating that, let me write the other class right here, Ameiva tooltip reveal up, and do the same thing here. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here on the after part. Tooltip reveal up, after, oops, after. But what I'm going to do now is split the part that is most important out. So taking top out from that and putting it down here. Ameiva tooltip reveal and up. In fact, both of them, yeah, I forget both of them are using the same thing to start, so that can stay where it is. My mistake there. Should be this one that I duplicate. Right. So what I need to do now is duplicate that. So the top can come out from here. There's the index. I forgot the index wasn't even necessary on that one. And alright, I can now move the two of these separately. Right. Now if I duplicate this button over here and add up to it, I should have a different animation using pretty much mostly the same code. Right. Now there's one small mistake here. Let me close all these. Well, not all these, just that one. Didn't need that open. Oh, I see what happened. Hover got put in the wrong spot. Right, there we go. So now we have up and down. Perfect. And if you didn't notice what I did just now, instead of duplicating all of this code, I just simply duplicated the first part, added a comma. This is some elementary CSS stuff, but still sometimes people end up duplicating a whole bunch of stuff they don't need. And I don't know why people do that. They just need to group the stuff together, and the things that you need to use separately that are slightly different, you can add those separately. So you can have multiple iterations of the same code just by grouping the main code together and then putting the smaller changes separately. There's a project where I did that and I'm trying to remember which one it is. Oh, right, I remember what it is now. It's called Navigator. I can actually pull that for you. So y'all are getting to see stuff that I have not revealed to the world yet. Well, at least the URL I have not revealed to the world yet. But this particular template I did reveal before. Sorry, this is a template that I'm working on and it's called Navigator. It is obviously incomplete, but it does have some pretty cool animations, and if you were to check the code for this, all of these animations share most of their code, but just some minor adjustments that I made to make each one show up in different positions are basically coded separately from each other. Something seems to be missing from this on my website that I have on my local installation, but that's a side note, not important. I'll look at that later. Anyway, so back to Ameiva. I'm not gonna keep you much longer because I really want to go and eat some food and stuff like that. So I'm gonna jump off of here shortly. But if you have any suggestions for this animation library in terms of some cool animations you'd like me to add, you can let me know. I may either do them on stream or do them offline in my free time, because I love working with CSS, even just for fun and for therapy, as I call it. Because designing is fun for me and helps me to relax, even when it's CSS. Even when CSS makes me pull my hair out sometimes, it is fun for me to work with. So if you'd like to drop some suggestions, you can go over to my website, rolandixr.pro, and use the contact button, or you can drop them in my chat right here on Twitch, or you can send them to me on Twitter. I don't think I have any more animations coming to mind right now. I was trying to think of anything else that would be quick to do, but I can't think of any other quick ones that I can do right now, so I think that will be it for now. But what I will just do is explain this, for those who don't know, this data attribute thing, because this isn't necessarily always covered in teaching CSS and HTML, but you can add your own custom attributes of any kind. So this could be data tooltip, data dog, data cat, data sheet, could be whatever you want, and CSS can pull from it in your before and after. And then you can do pretty much anything you can do with any regular element, you can do with before and after. So you can add some really cool stuff to your projects using them. So if I wanted to, now that I mentioned that, I just thought of something really cool that I can show you quickly. If I want to, I can actually add an atom to my code. So let me actually create one. Not gonna need a data anything for this, but then again, you know what? Let me add one for real. So I'm gonna add data atom and have a word floater on, or even a letter floater on the button. Instead of atom, I'm gonna call this molecule. So I'm gonna have a H plus and a Cl minus. Right. Alright. Special. Alright, so what I'm about to do here is add two classes called Ameiva Molecule and Ameiva Molecule Reverse. And what they will actually do is show, in fact, let me add two different kinds here. So data atom 0 and data atom 1. You can only have two at a time because you only have before and after as pseudo elements. I'm not sure of any other pseudo elements, although there probably are others. I don't remember them offhand. So these are the two that I'm going to use, and they're obviously the two that are most supported in most browsers anyway. So let's add these. Ameiva Molecule and Ameiva Molecule Reverse. In fact, you know what? Before I do that, I can actually group this with these. Save me some space and some typing. Content will be attribute data atom 0 Again, I'm grouping everything that I can group together. Save myself typing and space. Alright, and now for oh, another thing, I forgot to add the background color, because I'm going to have them be the same on each. So background color for before will be dark. That will be var Ameiva color dark. I know CSS can be slightly boring to some people because it's a lot of typing and a lot of thinking to do, but the results are fun when it all is said and done and it pays off. Alright, so that's the first thing we need to do is done. We have everything in position. So you can actually see the before and after there where they're supposed to be without any actual positioning. And now let's group all of these together and add their positions. Top will be 50%, or actually, no, not 50%. Let me see. How about 50, or better yet, 20px. Let's go with something as simple as that. And bottom 20px. Or I need to make it more than that. So let's go with 50. Good. And now, next step for these, need to add some animation to them basically. Oh, before I add the animation, let me add left 100%. I wish this would actually stay in position when it reloads. Right, 100%. And now we need to animate them. Oh, right, transition, all, var, Ameiva, slow, or slower, and ease in out. Alright, so hover. I should probably use percentages for this instead of pixels because it will make things easier. So let me switch the top and bottom to use percentages as well. Alright, almost to the point that I want them to be at. I should probably turn these into animations, like actual keyframed animations, so that they will move in a circle constantly instead of just moving up and down. But I just want to make sure that I'm getting the positions correct, so that's why I'm using transitions first. Alright, good. So I know what their transitions are supposed to be. Now let me grab some animation keyframes to these and actually add them in. Now for these I'm going to use infinite animations, of course. So where are they? Right. And anim count infinite. What am I missing here? Alright, I can take out the hover effect because I don't need that anymore. That was just so I could figure out positions. So I'm taking that out altogether, don't need it. Is both. Am I missing anything? I don't think I am. I have the name, the duration, the fill mode, the timing function. I think my tiredness is starting to catch up with me, so my brain power is beginning to diminish. But this should be animated by now, and I'm not sure what I'm missing. Okay, good. I do have the right class name on it. Just checking. Why are you not animating? I feel like I am missing something, and yet I still can't see what it is that I'm missing. Oh, that's my mistake. I have the duration as the animation count. Wow, that's terrible. So duration, I'm gonna go with Ameiva slower. Still not animating. So what am I missing this time? These should be spinning around at this point in time, and they are not, and I am frustrated. Not really. I'm just not sure what I'm missing. Alright, animation name is correct. Duration is correct. Let me try fast. I don't think that should make any difference, but clearly it is. That is odd. Was it that? Oh, it was that all along. Are you kidding me? How funny. I can't believe a simple colon was the problem. Or semicolon. Or whichever. Well, colon, yeah. I can't believe that was the problem. They're still not going in the right direction, though. So clearly I'm missing something else now. So if we start at 0, let me take out the top part altogether. Left 0 and come back out. Right. Oh, I have transitioning still. Let me take that out. Shouldn't be there. Shouldn't affect anything, but shouldn't be there. Alright, something's going up for some reason, and they're not supposed to be going up. still acting very odd. Oh, I just realized what I did there. I have the wrong value in there. How did I miss that? That is hilarious. Something's still not right. Ah, there we go. There's the culprit. Is it the culprit? No, you're really kidding me. I thought that was it. A missing semicolon. It's not that. Now here's where CSS really starts to make you pull your hair out, because you can't find what could possibly be wrong. I am totally puzzled at this one because it should be working, but it's not. And it should be so easy to do. Okay, so what am I missing? Let me check my other keyframes and see if in my sleepiness I'm forgetting something. No, I'm not. I know I'm not forgetting anything. You know what? Let me just use translate to do it and see if that will fix the problem. Nope. Now I am terribly confused. And I can't seem to find what I am missing. Alright folks, this stream will go on forever and I'll probably be stuck on this, so I'll probably have to figure this out offline when I am not tired and see what I'm doing wrong here, because this should be so simple. But basically, to run through it by talking through it, what I'm supposed to be having happen here is that these are supposed to be moving around their parent element, so all I would have to do is basically set their position at different intervals, which is what I did when I was using transitions. All I did is move them from, say, like top of 50% and left of 50% to the reverse, so it should be top of -50 and left of -50. But for whatever reason, either I'm missing something somewhere, or I just forgot something, or I'm tired, or whatever, I don't know, but for some reason, as you can see, it's not animating, and it should be. So welcome to the world of CSS, wonderful, wacky world of CSS, where nothing works for like 5 hours, and then the next couple minutes you find something that you were missing, or you don't do anything and you reload it and it works, and yeah, that is CSS for you. But it isn't always this crazy. If you check my stuff, you'll see it is not always this crazy. It's just today it decided to be temperamental, and I am tired, so that's what happened. But oh well. Next time around, hopefully I'll have this animation working. I'll probably poke around at this offline because I am pretty sure that this should be working already and it should be easy to make work, but I don't know. I don't know what happened today. So yeah, but in any case, until next time, I hope you enjoyed this still, regardless of the difficulties of CSS that showed their very beautiful heads today. I hope that you still enjoyed this, and I hope that you still managed to learn something along the way. Next time around, my next stream, I'll probably be back to regular art, but I am working on a streaming schedule, so you can begin to look out for more regular predetermined streams. And I do have some other projects in CSS to complete, including Pineapple CSS, and I was also working on a website mockup that I turned into code called Cucumber. But I also have some other projects to work on in terms of turning mockups to code and all that stuff that I want to get around to. Less of the frustrating side of CSS and more of the fun side. So you can look out for that in the near future. And look out also for some written content, which will be a lot more straightforward because there is no room for error when you're writing. So yeah. In any case, you can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RolandXR. You can follow me on Twitch if you have not done so already. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/RolandXR. Follow me on dev.to.to. I'm starting to write on there regularly as well. And you can also check out my stores. My stores are RolandXR on Redbubble, and you can also go to teespring.com/RolandXR and teespring.rolandxr.pro. That's a mouthful, but basically check my channel and you'll see all the links there. And as I said earlier, music today was provided by Creators Lib on YouTube. They produce some free Afro beats for creators, so make sure to check them out as well. So until next time, I'm signing out, and peace.